Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win. Go to Ocean.
We won 2 in a row. Win one tomorrow, meaning today. That's called a winning streak. It has happened before. Finally, the Phillies get 3 wins in a row, ladies and gentlemen. And what date is it? It's April 23rd, and they finally get 3 wins in a row. Philadelphia Phillies 1 game under 500, taking 3 of 4 from the god-awful, terrible, horrible, no good, very bad Colorado Rockies. But I don't care because it's April, so just stack the wins now. Stack the wins now, and all will be right with the world. Power surge helped the Phillies get past the Rockies, winning 3 of these 4 games in South Philadelphia before hosting the Mariners coming up for a 3-game series in South Philadelphia. So great to see the Phillies get the series win. Yet another series win. Back-to-back series wins now for the Phillies after splitting with the Reds. So a little bit of righting the ship after you lost 2 of 3 to the Marlins. So the Phillies have got the good vibes going right now. Zach Wheeler was dealing early, then hit a bit of a wall, then started dealing again. Meanwhile, the Phillies bats, obviously in this game as well, power to the tune of a 9-run ball game for the Philadelphia Phillies. And they got me feeling good on this Sunday afternoon. In case you missed the game, which some of you may have because it was on Peacock, in case you missed the game, we'll go through everything. We'll give you all the reactions as well. I'll be reading your comments a little bit later in the show, flipping over to Twitter to see what the good people are saying. But just a great win for the Phillies today, getting the W. And don't forget that Phillies Postgame show here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel is brought to you by the great people at Colony Pools and Power Washing. Let the experts get rid of that ugly green algae as well as that mold off your roof, your siding, or your deck. They service Delaware, Delco, Chester counties. Give them a call, 302-762-2250. That's 302-762-2250 at Colony Pools and Power Washing. Let's pick it up and start off with our starting pitcher today, Mr. Zach Wheeler. Dealing in the very early goings of this ball game. You go through 3 innings of work, and Zach Wheeler checks notes, had 7 strikeouts. He was unbelievable for those first 3 innings. Everything was working for him, most notably the 4-seam fastball. They were talking about during the broadcast on Peacock today. It was like the first 10 pitches he threw were all 4-seam fastballs. Then he finally threw a sinker in there, and he was just dominating from the hill, keeping batters off balance, keeping them guessing. And then right when they thought they had a beat on him, he went with another 4-seam fastball, 97 miles per hour, top of the zone, swung right under it. Multiple times throughout the game, you saw that, and when he needed that put-away pitch, he was able to lean on that put-away pitch. Then the 4th inning. No bueno. 4th inning, no good. Back-to-back hits to lead off the inning. Next thing you know, he allows another hit in that inning. He loses Moustakas. He was down in the count 3-1, came back. Got Moustakas in that part right there. Then he hits Daza. All right. He hits him with the pitch, and it sucks because he was up in the count 1-2. So he loses him. Wheeler was struggling from really that point on. Castro gets an RBI sac fly. Tovar gets an RBI single. And things started to fall by the wayside there in that 4th inning for Zach Wheeler. After he was dealing, things settled in. And it was right after, who was it doing the game today? Vescursion is there on the call for Peacock. Profar gets the single. McMahon gets the single. Back-to-back singles to lead off the inning. Then Crown ends up going up there, getting the walks. And now you have the bases loaded. He strikes out Moustakas. Daza gets hit by the pitch. Castro then gets the RBI infield single to center field. Then Tovar, he steps to the plate for the RBI single. And then Severin ends up striking out to end the threat. But in that inning, 3-run score, you were up in that inning going into the inning 2-0. And then the fourth inning, everything started to come apart for Zach Wheeler. That was a little bit of a worrisome outing because you wanted to see him go deep into this game. You had seen the bullpen be taxed many times over already to this point this season. You want to get another starter into at least the sixth inning and cross your fingers for at least the seventh inning. That unfortunately didn't come to fruition. But that fourth inning goes over 30 pitches. He had less than 30 pitches going into that inning, and he was struggling mightily. Then right after that, he did the thing that you want to see an ace pitcher do, which is, you're going to have struggles. You might not be able to find the strike zone. Guys might get their timing down, third time through the order, whatever it might be. You're going to have a bad inning here and there. That was happened to be a terrible inning. But the Phillies were able to fight back and pick up their pitcher in the bottom half of that fourth inning. And that's what I love. Whenever you have a pitcher struggle like that, you want to make sure that your lineup is good enough to make sure they can rally and pick up their pitcher. That's exactly what they did in the bottom half of that fourth inning. Nick Castellanos gets the walk. Nick Castellanos then goes with a hell of a play. Schwarber gets the walk. Castellanos gets the single to left field, just out of the reach of Profar. Couple of different hits in this game. One was from Sosa earlier in the series. Couple of hits in this series that just landed right in front of Profar. This one was one of them. Castellanos gets the single after Schwarber's walk. So you got runners on first and second with nobody out. That's just to lead things off. Next thing you know, you load the bases with Brandon Marsh taking a walk. Bases are loaded. JT Realmuto comes up, gets the RBI fielder's choice in that inning. So a run scores, you take the 4-3, as you tie things up at 3, and then Bohm steps to the plate. Realmuto steals second base, which is key in this inning. In this fourth inning, it is clutch that JT Realmuto stole that base. It was the second stolen base of the game. Now, why is that key? Because instead of Alec Bohm's dribbler up the middle to short, instead of it being an inning-ending double play and you end the threat, that grounder up the middle ends up being an RBI ground-out fielder's choice in that instance for Alec Bohm and the Phillies, and they end up taking the 4-3 lead. Now, Clemens steps up, hit a home run in the game. Great for him. First as a Philly. Nice to see it. I'll tell you in a second how he made me almost regret a tweet. I didn't send it, but Clemens almost made me look like an idiot. Not that that's hard to do. But Clemens ends up ending the inning with a fly ball to right field. Fifth inning, you have your man, Zach Wheeler, back on cruise control. Sixth inning, he continues to dominate, which was great. Moustakas flew out to the left fielder in that position there. And then Trejo goes in for Daza. He strikes out. Castro ends up flying out as well. Wheeler closes his day with 111 pitches by the close of that sixth inning. Maybe would have been able to push into the seventh inning if he didn't have those long at bats there, particularly for Trejo in that sixth inning. He took an 8-pitch at bat, a bunch of long at bats. I give the Rockies credit, whether it was the fifth inning or the fourth inning where things were starting to fall apart for Zach Wheeler. The Rockies did a great job of taking a lot of pitches. They did a phenomenal job of trying to work the corners a little bit in terms of fouling off pitches. That's the way to put that. So that was great for the Rockies to be able to do that, but it was bad for Zach Wheeler, even though he was able to settle in. 111 pitches. Love that Rob Thompson did put him back out there for that sixth inning, and he, of course, rewarded his skipper by having faith in him by being able to go out there in the sixth and still dominate. Seventh inning. You now have Soto in. Gregory Soto has been fantastic. Now, I believe 9 straight games not allowing an earned run for himself, which is great to see. It really does look like this Phillies bullpen has started to settle in, especially Alvarado. They put up the numbers. There's a stat that they put up that still broke my brain, and we'll talk about it later, but it was incredible. You have Soto come out. Soto goes into that inning having just completely dominated in his last 9 starts, or last 9 appearances. Soto goes out there, strikes out Tavar. Servin then goes up there. He flies out to left field. Now Blackman comes up to the plate with 2 outs in the inning already. Soto throws at his head. Whether it was intentional, I don't think it was intentional. It wasn't intentional. It was not intentional. Let me just stress that. Then the very next pitch, he throws a sweeping slider. I don't know if he called it a sweeper. They didn't call it a sweeper. Throws that slider right across Blackman's face, bang into the left, the outside corner. And you see Blackman That was dirty. That was a nasty pitch by Soto. He goes up in the count. Unfortunately, Blackmon ends up getting the last laugh in this scenario because he ends up reaching on an infield single. Then Soto tries to pick him off, and Blackmon then goes on to advance to third base on a throwing error by Soto. Now, Soto does get the last laugh of the last laughs because later in that inning, after you saw Blackmon get on third base, he ends up having Profar fly out to left field. So that ended any threat. Phillies in that situation are still feeling pretty damn good about themselves because at that point, it was still a one-run ball game. Bottom of the seventh inning, the Phillies are facing Lamet, a guy who they had owned earlier in the series, and they did it again tonight. JT Realmuto leads off with the walk. Alec Boehm steps up with a hit-and-run situation. I know everyone talks about the suicide squeeze as the most exciting play in baseball. Grand slams are great. Home runs are great. But there is something about the hit-and-run. And JT Realmuto, you don't get a chance to say this about a catcher too often, but JT Realmuto, dazzling with speed today, with 2 stolen bases and then scoring from first on this hit to center field by Alec Boehm. Now, he was running on the pitch, so he should score from first base. But nonetheless, was going on the pitch. The hit and run is on. We'll see what Rob Thompson had to say about it after the game. Alec Boehm deposits that RBI double into center field. Phillies go up at that point 5-3. Bryson Stott, then steps up to the plate for a 2-run home run. Phillies dominating, rolling 7-3 at that point for the insurance runs there. And then in the 8th inning, you got Schwarber stepping to the plate. He gets the single to right field. Castellanos lines out. Marsh comes up with the 2-run home run. Next thing you know, it's 9-3, and that's all she wrote. This was a fun game. It was close at times and put you on the edge of your seat. And then the Phillies just let you sit back and relax in the 7th and 8th innings with the way they were able to pitch and the way they were able to hit. And that made you appreciate it. And 3 wins in a row is great. A game under 500 now is fantastic. So this was a very fun Sunday afternoon, 12:05 start time. This is a very fun way to enjoy your Sunday afternoon if you're able to enjoy the game on Peacock there. So great win by the Phillies, really in all avenues. And I just continue to marvel at the job that Kevin Long has done. And I don't like, just because I always like to say this, it's not a hot take just because you're not ready to hear it. But I really and truly feel that Kevin Long is like the Jeff Stoutland of this Philadelphia Phillies coaching staff. It's like, give me anybody. Give me Brandon Marsh, a 228 hitter with the Angels. Give him to me. All-star. And that's the way he's playing. Now it's April. It's early. Bryson Stott not really turning it around. Last year starts to turn it around. This year, all-star. That's what it looks like right now. It's early. It's April. But at the very early goings of this season, are these guys not giving you the positive vibes they can keep this going? Because I am dazzled by what I am seeing from guys that really aren't notable hitters. Brandon Marsh being the best case example of this. Nick Castellanos hitting over 300. Hey, look, 2 home runs yesterday is great. His average, though, this season is miles above what we saw last year. And that's what you want from Nick Castellanos. Yes, we all want home runs. We want 35 home runs. But if he's going to be leading Major League Baseball in doubles at this point in the season, the early goings here, I'll take that for now. The home runs will come. Mike Schmidt said it on yesterday's broadcast, and it's the truest thing. It's a cliche because it's true. Home runs are supposed to be accidents. And for Nick Castellanos yesterday, they could have been accidents. Brandon Marsh today, accident. Bryson Stott today, accident. But, man, they got some good wood on those baseballs, and they traveled pretty far. The Marsh home run was interesting because that was the one they were reviewing whether or not there was fan interference. Ended up being upheld. But bottom line is the job Kevin Long has done with a lot of these hitters, he's just making them find a way to be comfortable in that batter's box. And I cannot give him enough credit for the job that he has done, especially with some of the newer guys or younger guys in this lineup. And Alec Boehm, look, he was good before Kevin Long. He's even better now after Kevin Long. It was good to see him get that hit in the 7th inning of this baseball game today. So maybe he is going to turn things back around after a little bit of a rut, just an 0 for 9, 0 for 11 slump that he was in there. Now they're breaking out of it again. Let's see what he's got as his time goes on here. But what he has done is nothing short of spectacular with this Philadelphia Phillies lineup. Whether old or young, he seems to be helping these guys out tremendously, and I love to see it. And today, it was great, especially because one guy we've gotten down on a lot is Aaron Nola. And I feel like with the homegrown talent that he is and as good as a pitcher as he is, he has that one inning where you just go, oh, come on, this is what we're going to – this guy's not an ace. And we go through that question. We go through that Q&A. We go through that conversation. Well, you could say a lot of the things about a lot of different – you could say that same thing about a lot of different pitchers. The one guy we haven't really said it a lot about is Zach Wheeler. Today he goes out there. He gets roughed up a little bit. His lineup picks him up like I was saying earlier. And then after that, with that one little hiccup behind him, goes right back to being a dominant pitcher. And when you have a guy like that just simply dealing, if you're the opposing hitters, you just throw your hands up in the air at some point and you just go, well, what are we supposed to do with this guy? Even when we get to him, we can't get to him enough. And even if we do get to him, this Phillies lineup can out-hit us. And we've talked about this a lot even when Bryce Harper originally signed here in Philadelphia, the conversation started to get going a little bit. And even going into last year with Schwarber and then Castellanos, having those guys join Bryce Harper. And now you have Trey Turner in this lineup as well. We've talked about this a lot. We've talked about the 2008 Phillies. Their pitching was Cole Hamels. Brett Myers had himself a good year. Jamie Moyer had himself a decent year. You got Joe Blanton at the end of the season. He had a decent year. Like all these guys did decent. Cole Hamels was dominant, especially in that playoff run. But for the most part that year, and remember, with the designated hitter only being in the American League and not being in the National League, the Phillies were still absolutely dominating American League hitting in terms of throughout the season. I believe they were third in runs scored. So they were mashing from the plate. So in 2008, even though they didn't have great pitching, they were just out slugging everybody. So when the Phillies put this lineup together, even going back to last year before Trey Turner and with Bryce Harper and with Rhys Hoskins at first base, even with all that, you're like, all right, well, the pitching might not be fantastic. Zach Wheeler's going to be good. Aaron Nola's going to be good, but what do they do after that? Well, Ranger Suarez has stepped up. He'll join the Phillies sooner rather than later. Bryce Harper will join the lineup again sooner rather than later. Well, what, a week and a half from now that we're talking about? But the point is, this Phillies team, when their starting pitchers do struggle, damn, do they have the lineup to pick up their starting pitchers. Not just in a one-inning type of thing like Zach Wheeler today, but if they maybe struggle getting out of the gate like we've seen Bailey Falter do, or we've seen Aaron Nola do in that third inning by allowing a lot of runs and then settling in, this Phillies team can get those runs back because they are just so deep and so talented. You got Cody Clemens hitting a home run for you today. You had Eddie Sosa stepping up in game 2 of this series, helping you win this ball game, both in the field and at the plate. And these are the under-the-radar guys. Last year, you could talk about guys through and through that really helped this lineup, that were the unsung heroes, that weren't the big attention guys. And then sure as hell, you get guys like Garrett Stubbs stepping up last year for you to get you some home runs, get you some wins, the walk-up against the Marlins most notably. This year, you get Sosa. Now you got Cody Clemens helping you get on the board early in this game. That's all you can ask for from the unsung, under-the-radar heroes you have in this lineup. And then you get to the bigger name guys. Man, if Castellanos does put it together and starts adding more pop to that swing and starts hitting on pace to get you 30 home runs this season, even if he's a 25 home run guy, that's what did he have, 16 last year? I'll take 25 home runs and leading the league in doubles. Whether it's your 4-hole, 5-hole, whatever he might be, that guy's driving in runs. Him and Alec Boehm. And I know they talked about it again on the broadcast today, Alec Boehm hitting down the order and what that does, how deep they are. Yeah, they're very deep. But I just feel like even despite the recent struggles, I feel like Alec Boehm is worthy of a better batting position, better spot in the batting order. Brandon Marsh has certainly earned it. I'm still waiting for Boehm to be the next man up. If you get Kyle Schwarber hitting a little bit more for average, which we all expected him to do without the shift, then this lineup will just mash all day. And this is going to be a fun summer of baseball. Can't wait for it. Let's see what some of you guys are saying out there. Ari, 3 in a row. That's called a winning streak. Unspoken words here in the JAKIB Media YouTube chat. Gaining momentum. I'm a big believer in momentum. I know some people, momentum, whatever. But there's something about it. Like, I believe in the cliche that hitting is contagious. And man, you saw it last night. You see it in this particular game as well. It is contagious. You know why? Because one guy sees another guy get a hit. They either see what they do or they don't want to be the guy coming up small for the team when everybody else is picking them up. and you see a guy step to the plate, whether that's Cody Clemens or you see a guy step to the plate like Marsh has done through the vast majority of this season, or you see a guy like Bryson Stott step up, Kyle Schwarber starting to come around as far as hits go, Nick Castellanos throughout the season, JT Real Muto really starting to turn it on as of late for the Phillies. I mean, you see guys do this throughout the year, and it really does make you feel like it is contagious. Because I don't know if it's cracking the code of whatever the pitcher's doing, or if it's just finding your own groove or feeling like everyone else is doing it, I can do it too, and that grows your confidence somehow. I don't know what it is. For whatever reason, this Phillies team certainly looks like hitting is contagious. And there's a breakout right now with the Phils with a 9-run game. And this lineup, I got to say, as much as I love the lineup, the bullpen continues to figure it out. We talked about it in, I believe it was after game 1 of the doubleheader against the White Sox in Chicago. We talked about how Soto to Kimbrel or Soto to Kimbrel to Dominguez to Alvarado, you close it down, you shut it down, you're good to go. This bullpen has started to figure it out. And now that you got a couple of games like that in your back pocket, started to figure it out might change into they have figured it out. Because if you can consistently get guys, especially with Ranger Suarez coming back, but you can consistently get Wheeler, and you can get Nola, and you could get Falter, and you could get you could get Suarez here, or Strom pitching into the 6th, 7th innings consistently like they're supposed to. Strom being the only exception because he hasn't been a starter since like 2019, even though it was incredible the other night. If you get those guys consistently going in the 6th and 7th pitch inning, and you hand the ball to those pitchers coming out of the pen. Dare I say it? Back in the day, he called it the bridge to Lidge. I don't know what's the clever way to get to Alvarado. I don't know. But this Phillies bullpen could actually be what we've been waiting for a very long time in terms of having a bullpen you could really trust with great consistency. And last year, they did a fine job. They helped get you to the World Series. Nobody's denying that. It's fantastic. But we have seen this bullpen time and time again get reloaded, get adjusted, get different guys in here to try to help you win. And it has fallen flat. This year, not so much. Kimbrel, especially recently, has been as good as you could ask him to be. Seeing a guy like Dominguez settle in nicely, that's what we want to see from him. That's the Dominguez we have seen, the Sir Anthony Dominguez we have seen from years past. Alvarado has just been incredible. The thing I referenced earlier, and my brain just exploded when I saw it, because it was one of those things where I read it, I knew what I was reading, and then the inning happened, and I went back to read it again. And it was 100% of Jose Alvarado's pitches that go 90 miles per hour or more. 90 miles per hour or faster. 100% of those have been strikes. And then what did you know it? Like right away, there was like 2 balls at 90 plus miles, like 93 miles per hour, 98 miles per hour that were out of the strike zone. And I'm like, well, so much for that 100%. But still, to this point this season, you throw over 90 miles per hour, you just throw nothing but strikes. Like that can't be. Like I didn't go back through the rest of the game logs and look at his pitch charts and go, what the no? But for that even to be something that was typed into a computer by a mind working on Major League Baseball broadcast, albeit Peacock, that's impressive. And here's the thing: I look at it and I go, like that can't be true because that's you're not even a human. You're just a robot that's just throwing strikes at 90 miles per hour. Or excuse me, like 100 miles per hour, I should say. And sure enough, yeah, Jose Alvarado has just been that dominant. This Phillies team right now, and look, it's 3 in a row. Okay, this isn't some 10-game hitting streak. Okay, they're not hitting a stride like the Rays did for the first, what was it, 11, 12 games of the season, whatever the hell it was. But it's just a calming thing to see. It's only April, and there are moments where the Phillies won't hit with runners in scoring position, and we all lose our minds. And I'm right there with you. I don't give a damn that it's April. I'm watching every game individually, and I react to that game. Literally what we're doing. But, man, when they're good and they're mashing and they're throwing well and they're getting strikeouts and you have your pitchers throwing 98 to 100-mile-per-hour fastballs, the guys who just left just no idea what to think at the plate, that's a good feeling. When your guys step to the plate and it feels like every single guy in this lineup is a guy that if you're at the game, you're not going to get nachos, you're not going to get your next beer because guess what? This lineup is worth sitting there watching, waiting to go. So I'm excited. I don't know if you can tell. And happy birthday, Philly Fanatic. Just out of nowhere, on that note, real quick, I will say I don't know if there's anything else in sports that is an instant smile for me as consistently as just seeing the Philly Fanatic. Like when I'm at a game or they put them on TV, I just smile. I don't know if you can tell. I love the Fanatic. I love the Philly Fanatic. Philly Fanatic's great. So happy birthday, Philly Fanatic. You look great. You look great. A guy from the Galapagos, like you look great. You look great. Boom definitely deserves the move up. Boom. Sean Gillespie, thank you very much. Ari Stein, thank you. Unspoken words, yet spoken. Nice to see you as well. Let me see what's going on real quick on the Twitterverse. I want to see if anything else came out after the ball game today from the Phillies. People seem to agree. Jeff Stout. Okay. Chase Buds, great name, by the way, on Twitter. I'm hoping Pache can come join the trend about Kevin Long. That's a steal if the Phillies are able to get him and turn it into something that helps the Phillies win. I agree. Nice little home run for himself yesterday. That was great to see as well. Kevin Long, man. K Long University? What would we call it? You got Stoutland U. Would it be K Long University? What would we call it? I don't know. You know what? We got time to think it. We got time to figure it out. That's all I'm saying. I want to see if anybody else is tweeting what we got going on here from the Phillies and see if Rob Thompson said anything. There is one thing. And I'm nitpicking. And I'm going to nitpick. What the hell was JT Realmuto getting 2 stolen bases in this game? Great. Love it. But JT Realmuto, ladies and gentlemen, JT Realmuto trying to steal third with Cody Clemens at the plate in the second inning. That was dumb. That was a dumb move. I don't like that move. Bad move. Why would you? Okay, so you stole second. You put yourself in scoring position with 2 outs. Good. Bohm later made it out, but whatever. So he steals second base. You're on second base with 1 out. Bohm then grounds out to the shortstop. All right, the shortstop holds the runner, holds JT Realmuto at second. Cody Clemens steps to the plate. Cody Clemens, who's bad, by the way. And this is what I was alluding to earlier when I said Cody Clemens made me eat my words. So Cody Clemens steps to the plate. Not very good, Cody Clemens. Batting average 105. He's hitting 105 on the season. JT Realmuto's on second base. Cody Clemens is at the plate. JT Realmuto steals. He goes to steal third base with Clemens at the mound. So now Clemens gets another at bat. Like, you got to see him for more pitches now, as opposed to just him making the out. Or, you know what? Maybe he gets a single and then you score from second. Going on contact, 2 outs. It was stupid to try to steal third base. Like, I don't know if that was just something he did on his own. I would assume it is, because I don't think a manager in the dugout is going to go, you should steal. You should probably take this base. Clemens at the plate. If you feel like it's an automatic out, why am I bringing him to the plate twice? Then sure enough, that's where he made me eat my words with a spoonful of honey on top of it. Blasted the ball to right field for his first home run as a Philly. But when I watched that, I was like, why are you doing that? That's stupid. Don't do that. And then Clemens just looked like an absolute baller, knocking into the right field stands. So there you go. Phillies, congratulations. They get the 9-3 victory. 11-12 now on the young season. 6:40 start time tomorrow night. Ladies and gentlemen, 6:40 start time tomorrow night. Bailey Falter will get the start. So the Phillies will have the lefty on the mound against Logan Gilbert of the Seattle Mariners. Gilbert comes into this ballgame 1-1 on the season with a 3.57 ERA. He is just coming off getting a bit of a roughed up performance there against the Milwaukee Brewers. He allowed 4 runs on 5 hits, all of them earned, by the way. 6 innings of work, did give up 2 long balls as well. He ended up striking out 8. In his 4 starts so far this season, he's kind of teetered on good and bad. His first start of the year, 1 run in 6 innings. Second start of the year, 3 runs, 4 innings. Next start, 6 2/3, allowed 1 earned run. And then in his most recent, 4 earned runs. So the Phillies will hope to give him his first back-to-back awful starts of the season. So let's cross our fingers for that one. And also that the Phillies get 500 baseball. That'd be fun as well. Alex Schmidt produced the program, ladies and gentlemen. He did a phenomenal job, though under duress. Alex had to produce this show from a coffee shop, okay? And you'd never know it because the guy's just that talented. How about that? Thanks for watching, everybody. Much appreciated, everybody there. Oh, here we go. Unspoken Words. Honestly, always shines in Philadelphia. Great work. The Stoutland comparison is spot on. Oh, Unspoken Words. I'm speaking your words. Thank you so much. How about these Phillies, all right? Getting the win, getting the third in a row. That's what's called a winning streak. It has happened before. Thanks, everybody, for watching. You guys are great, as per usual. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow after the 6:40 start time in Game 1 of the 3-game series in South Philadelphia against the Seattle Mariners. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
Heading down the shore, have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wild wood days.
They're carving them up and good play calling along the way. First and goal at the 6.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.